the guests we have in the room today did not sit around and wait for somebody. They actually saw a problem and stepped up to fix it. And we just love that kind of activity. So let's meet our guests today. Let's go. First off, Holly Hazard and Rose Conde. Welcome, you badass activists, organizers. We love to see you. And you have started a group for public education. Welcome. You can unmute yourself, Rose. Say hi. Don't be shy.
Hello, everybody. So glad to be here.
Yeah, you're not very shy. I saw you the other last week at the Friday at the meeting at the school board meeting.
We are not shy. We are not shy.
Well,
should we go ahead?
Yeah,
go ahead and talk about 4Publc?
Go ahead.
We're so excited to be here. This is a brand new initiative. We launched it 2 weeks ago. We've got a huge amount of interest, and we'd love to have the interest from everybody on this call.
Oh, great.
4Publc Education came about because we saw what was going on with the theatrics in Loudoun County. I'm sure many of you saw that. And we saw that this was seeping into Fairfax, and we did not want this to happen to our fantastic schools here. They were just mimicking what was going on in Loudoun. And
all right, Holly, we're going to get to your segment. And Rose, we'll hear from you in the show. So thank you. I know, Holly, we're ready to rock and roll. Skip ahead. Let's go back to this 4Publc Education. If you've been following the news, actually paying attention the past year, there has been a concerted attack on public education. So we have two wonderful people here, Holly Hazard and Rose Conde, that organized 4Publc Education. Tell us about this group and why you all started it.
Well, thank you, Network Nova, so much for giving us this platform. Yeah, so a number of us got together, Rose, about 40 people got together when we saw this rise, this supposed from the grassroots rise in parents objecting to what was going on in Fairfax County schools. They were not just objecting, they were pointing at school board members in meetings, screaming at them, calling them pornographers and pedophiles, this horrible, rude, and inappropriate action. And we started digging further into this, and what we found is exactly what Samantha B found a little later, I'm sure, and that is that it's not just a group of grassroots parents. This is a well-organized front designed to pull those independent voters away from Democrats and throw them in the Republican pot for the next election. And so this is an issue that every single person should be concerned about, whether you've got kids in school or not. And there's two big reasons why this is happening. One, as Samantha B touched on and we've touched on, is that Republicans are looking anywhere they can to get people to come back to their sad and dying party. And they're using the same tactics that they used in the 70s with the abortion issue. They looked around where there's a big pot of people, churches. We're going to go to churches, we're going to find an issue that's divisive, and then we're going to collect all those votes for ourselves. And boy, were they successful there. Well, now they got their sights on schools. And if we don't want this issue to turn out the same way the abortion issue turned out, we need to get people active now. But there's a second reason why they're doing this, which is as problematic, and that is that, as we know, there's billions of dollars in public schools. We spend billions of dollars. And so the charter school industry is just foaming at the mouth at the idea that they might be able to get in and get some of this big pot. And so we've got two reasons why all of this aggravation is taking place, and it is going to grow. It's going to grow as we get closer and closer to the 22 election. We saw what happened we saw what happened with Terry McAuliffe, and with the gaffe that he made and how that was exploited. That is exactly what's going to happen now all over the U.S., and we really need to get people engaged. This is a manufactured controversy, and we've got to stop it in its tracks.
Yeah, so Rose, you are a parent. You have a young children in school. What does it feel like being on that side of it? Now I'm so glad you stepped up and part of this awesome grassroots movement.
Thank you, Katherine.
Yes.
I'm a parent of two children, 7 and 9, in the elementary school system in Fairfax County. And to me, it's been one of those things where I'm seeing all these play out in the news, in the school board meetings and everything. And I wasn't able to find a way to get engaged, which is what you all are about. Like, I love this group of people that are experienced activists. They understand kind of how do we mobilize and how do we make these voices heard so that it is more of a balanced argument. And it is really, really important right now for us to make our voices heard, because it takes so much effort to try to go back to, once it's undone, it takes that much more effort. Once our public education system becomes threatened and undone, and if it were to go down the path of charter schools and whatnot, we've seen so many examples of that going wrong. We've seen so many examples of that. We need to make decisions that are well-balanced, well-informed, and that's what this group is about. It's a group that is trying to bring some of the facts back to the table. We're trying to have the arguments in a civil way as well, because it's not only the arguments that are coming out, it is how some of these messages are delivered that is just so unsettling. And so I'm really inspired by the group. This is really, yes.
Well, thank you. So what do we want to do is make sure, I know you have some calls to action, and I know, so we're going to put all that in the chat, and I would say everybody in this room, please click on that and get their newsletters. And I don't care where you're from, where you're at, sign up and help this group any way you can. And I don't know, even next week, the big important thing, like Holly said, is to sign up to be a speaker at these meetings. And Holly, is that correct? To get at the podium?
That is, we need to fill these slots with folks who are supporting us and not against us and not spewing vitriol. And if you want to speak and you're worried about speaking, don't worry. Katherine, Stale, Robin, me, anybody, we will help you with your speech. So do not worry about that. We need vocal people to help us.
Yes, thank you. And you know, this room is full of that. And we also want to make one big pitch, and this is something I've been pushing. We really got to keep it away from the politics, because a lot of people, whether the Republican, Independents, Democrats, they don't appreciate this interference in our schools. And so when you come to these meetings, I know you love to wear the yellow, you get nice signs, but to act courteous and to show the contrast. I saw the last meeting, these people had QAnon masks on the other side. They had freaky masks on, and it's bizarre. So please stand up and show up. Thank you so much, Holly and Rose. We appreciate your activism. Bye, we love you.